Welcome to Commerce Content and the New Digital Paradigm. As we get started, just a note that if you have any questions throughout the presentation, just please add them to the chat and we'll be addressing them towards the end. Let's go ahead and set the stage with just a few facts. Consumers are spending more today than ever. In 2020, more than 2 billion people bought goods and services online. And those 2 billion people spent over $4.2 trillion in the process. And while the COVID pandemic very well may have helped spur the 25% increase in digital commerce over the last year, the shift to digital sourcing of goods and services may very well be permanent. The shift is not only evident in the amount of online shopping that consumers are doing, but how they are going about discovering products and ultimately making purchase decisions. Nearly 9 out of 10 consumers are reading reviews before making purchases, with nearly 55% saying that they read at least 4 reviews before buying a product. Consumers are taking the time to do their own research for their own information and knowledge, but also for the reassurance from others who have had experiences with the product. And another thing that people are doing is getting more annoyed with ads. 30% of people surveyed find website ads distracting, 32% find them excessive, and 38% find them intrusive. This really shouldn't surprise any of us. Consumers today flat out just don't like advertising. They've been doing the work and the research on their own to find the products that they want and to make their purchase decisions. And publishers and brands are finally beginning to recognize this affinity for reviews and disdain for advertising and have changed their game plan accordingly to embrace this new behavior. Consumers today are spending 43% more time watching online commerce videos, 42% more time reading user reviews, and 41% more time reading reviews from trusted publications. So what's driving this increased engagement with commerce content and product reviews and recommendations? Well, we've already established that there's just simply more shopping happening. People are just doing a lot more buying today and enjoying that dopamine hit when they get home to a package on their doorstep, that same feeling when somebody likes or comments on your post. And speaking of social effects, there also seems to be a bit of social competition happening with shopping today, to where commerce has almost become a competitive sport, where people are not just trying to follow trends in social media and with their friends, but they want to create those trends. And there's also just a lot more choice out there today, a lot of startups, a lot of niche products and trends. There's almost 2 million stores on Shopify's platform today. Compare that to just 40,000 stores on their platform just less than 10 years ago. That's a 42% increase in the number of stores selling more things. And finally, there's just simply more supply of commerce content, just information that's out there today about products that didn't exist in critical mass even just 5 years ago. And that's the topic of today's session, commerce content. It's digital content published by individuals and independent media organizations that offers readers an opportunity to discover and learn more about the goods and services that an editorial person or team stands behind. The content includes product reviews, gift guides, how-to guides, buyer guides, product comparisons, and other formats. And what's unique about this content is that revenue for these publishers is increasingly coming from the affiliate and commerce links embedded within the content itself versus the advertising that's around the content. And though dedicated review-based publishers like Consumer Reports and user review platforms like Yelp have been around for years, there's been a trend towards commerce content-specific strategies for major publishers just over the last 3 to 4 years. And I believe that this has been fueled by an explosion of commerce content that started with influencers on social publishing platforms like YouTube, talking about products that they're passionate about while building sizable audiences and learning ways to monetize their content while remaining authentic and true to their audience, perhaps out of passion, but also because of the comments and subscribe features that these social publishing platforms have built in. We believe in the rise of commerce content so much that Impact.com recently funded an important piece of research in partnership with Fortune. In June and July of this year, Fortune surveyed over 200 executives and professionals who are involved in commerce content creation and distribution for digital media publishing companies in the US, in the UK, Germany, and Australia. Impact.com also conducted a customer survey on adoption, activities, and attitudes around commerce content in Q1 of this year. We received 168 responses from partnership professionals globally. And here's what all this research discovered. Commerce content is growing fast. More than half of the publishers surveyed expect revenues from commerce content to grow at least 25% over the next 2 years. But a quarter of publishers surveyed are expecting commerce content revenues to grow at 50%. The future in publishing for the first time in a long time is bullish. A large majority also agree that in the future, commerce content revenue will contribute to a larger share of digital publishing revenue. Publishers' confidence is well supported by solid financial returns resulting from their commerce content programs. They cite higher total revenues, improved cash flow, and increased profit margins as the top 3 gains they've derived from these endeavors. And it's not just publishers who are excited about having adopted commerce content initiatives. Brands have as well, as they strive to be more relevant in the daily lives of consumers. Our own Impact.com survey shows that commerce content is already part of 72% of brand-side partnership programs, and 65% of brands said that commerce content is an important part of their strategy this year. In fact, the most mature brands, those working with 20 or more content publishers, list brand awareness as the biggest benefit, even over and above revenue and customer acquisition. And we've noticed a number of changes that publishers have had to go through in order to adapt to this emerging opportunity of commerce content. Publishers have had to make more audience-led commerce content decisions. They've had to form a whole new team, an independent commerce content department, and evolve their monetization strategies from selling their audience to selling to their audience. And publishers have had to handle commerce content growing pains. On the first transformation, moving towards audience-based content decisions, think about this paradigm shift for a minute. In the early days of publishing, decisions on what stories ran and which ones were shelved had to go through a specific group of individuals, the editors. Editors were expected to be the proxy for the audience, typically making unilateral decisions about what news was fit to print, deciding what their audiences ought to be reading, curating what articles were worthwhile, and dictating the content tastes of their audience. So in the early days, the editors were effectively the audience. The democratization of media resulted in an explosion of content creators. And with the rise of large blog and social media publishing platforms, barriers to entry were reduced, drastically lowering the cost for producing content and distributing it far and wide to a large audience. Suddenly, anyone could be a writer, a designer, a photographer, a videographer, and an editor all in one. And what did these creators teach us? Listen to your audience. Likes, comments, the real-time risk of an unsubscribe. Losing your audience happened in real time. So content with these creators got more in tune with what the audience demanded. Major publishers have now adapted to the same strategy. According to our Fortune Publisher Survey, publishers use a variety of data-driven techniques to accomplish this. 3 data sources are closely ranked as most effective: audience surveys, search and social trends, and partnering with brands on their sales data. Major publishers have realized that their brand has credibility and value and can be leveraged to provide quality commerce-based content based on the needs of their audience. And sizable editorial teams have evolved now to become product experts. The second transformation is about people and the formation of a formal commerce content team. A few years ago, brands and agencies really struggled with formalizing commerce content deals with publishers. They had to work through their publishers' ad sales team, who really didn't know how to handle and route these novel, these native content partnership requests. Everything was ad hoc, and as a result, very frustrating for all parties involved. If you fast forward to today, 87% of publishers say that they have a dedicated commerce content team. Brands and agencies can now forge direct relationships with the appropriate people in the publisher's organization. But the experience is not like buying an ad. It's more like a public relations firm motion on the side of the brand, where brands may brief commerce content editors about their company, products, and services, and the editors will take that in along with any available commerce or affiliate links. And the formation of a commerce content team is proven as a critical step in ensuring content maintains its editorial integrity, which is the foundation for the trust that readers have in these publications. Leilani Hahn, head of business development and partnerships at Wirecutter, states, "Our credibility in maintaining a strict separation between editorial and business interests has absolutely been the key factor in our ability to drive sales to our merchant partners." And she goes on to say that our readers are very savvy, and we've been very successful in being primarily supported by affiliate revenue from day one because of their trust. So it's critical that we create meaningful content that isn't compromised by business interests. And in that same vein, the third transformation deals with how commerce content monetization strategies have adapted and changed over time. In the early days of commerce content, monetizing links with last click attribution using a percentage of referred sales was the norm. The publisher would earn a certain amount of revenue from a page, mostly through advertising though, And turning links into CPA-based affiliate links was just incremental revenue, kind of like an added tip or a bonus. Publishers would mostly work with a sub-affiliate or Amazon for links because it was easy and it just wasn't yet a material source of revenue. Because most notably then, most commerce pages and articles were littered with advertisements taking up the majority of page space. Fast forward to today, publishers are now focusing on the content itself and optimizing the commercial value of what's inside the content with commerce or affiliate links. And some are just ditching ads on pages altogether to focus solely on the commerce content monetization natively within the content itself. And publishers' understanding of the role of commerce content has evolved. Percentage of referred sales is still the most common monetization method at 41%, but a third of publishers now monetize it through other means, including a fixed amount per conversion generated by a campaign and a fixed percentage for just participating in the customer journey. These monetization strategies have proven to be effective. The percentage of publishers generating revenue from commerce content has significantly increased, more than tripling from 18% to 62% just over the past year. And the fourth and final transformation is how publishers plan on handling the growing pains associated with commerce content, which includes solving for how do you go after these growth strategies to scale successfully. At impact.com, we believe it's essential to get the people, process, and technology right in order to scale for an opportunity like this. And just focusing on the people component, according to the survey, the top 3 people competencies needed to support growth are marketing skills for brand building, partnering skills to manage more brands, and collaborating skills to build more effective partnerships. I interpret this as high requirements for more business development skills. But challenges abound. The 3 most important obstacles are cited by just over a quarter of respondents. They include the ease with which competitors can track a publisher's activity and emulate content, over-reliance on 1 or 2 merchants that generate an outsized portion of revenue, and third, analytical difficulties in measuring content level revenue. Some of these can certainly be tackled by having a differentiated content strategy, while others can be addressed through technology to track and diversify your partnerships. Despite these challenges, publishers are seeing incredible results. Wirecutter has seen its revenue expand 470% year over year, and the Meredith portfolio of publishing brands reported a 100% increase in revenue over the last 3 years, with both publishers crediting commerce content as the key factor at play. Impact.com has witnessed these shifting trends over the past decade and has become the global standard platform for all partnership types across the partnership economy. And with the recent acquisition of Trackonomics, Impact.com is now the global standard platform that enables brands and publishers to partner together on commerce content specific initiatives. Trackonomics is giving publishers like CNN and Forbes a suite of tools to power their commerce content initiatives. This includes the Trackonomics SSP to aggregate and consolidate data from multiple partnership and advertising platforms to gain a holistic view of performance, and Link Scanner to detect issues like dead URLs, out-of-stock products, price mismatches, bad redirects, and generate new replacement links directly so that publishers can recoup lost earnings. Up next, we're excited to dive into how publishers like CNN and Recurrent are creating effective strategies and differentiating and growing their commerce content programs. I'm Dave Yovanno, CEO of Impact.com. Thanks for tuning in.